Hello, welcome back to Crushing Sounds. My name is Chris, and I'm very excited to be welcoming some very special guests onto our channel today. I'm joined by the guys from Prog Metal band Redshift ahead of their upcoming show at the Bristol leg of Bloodstock's Metal to the Masses on July 3rd. So thank you guys again so much for joining me on our channel. Would you like to introduce yourselves and your roles in the band Redshift?
Thanks, Atlas. I'm Jack. I play the drums. I try to, yeah, just about.
And I'm Liam. I sing a bit, sort of, and play the bass and the keyboards.
Awesome, fantastic. So lovely to meet you guys. Welcome to Crushing Sounds. So I already mentioned Metal to the Masses, so I'll get straight into that. How are you guys feeling about the impending Bristol show? I know I'm excited. It's been far too long since I've been to Metal to the Masses.
Take it away.
Well, yeah, I think I can speak for all of us when I say we're all looking forward to getting back to performing, and we love the Exchange anyway. It's a great venue, so it's always going to be fun for us to go there and upset as many people as we can with our treacherously horrible sounds.
Well, if you say horrible sound, I saw you guys during your heat during I think it was the 2019 competition, the last one before the event, we'll call it. So I remember you guys very, very clearly. I thought you guys were fantastic. How did you guys find the 2019 experience?
Well, I appreciate that. That was kind. Yeah.
No, it was good fun gig, that one. It was an unusual one for us because we did a cover.
Yeah, was that where we did Rush?
Yeah, we did the Rush cover because that was quite fresh for us because that was when Neil Peart.
Yeah, Cornelius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when Neil Peart lost his life, he was a big influence on both of us. Well, I think all of us in the band really, and it was kind of something we wanted to do, even though it was for Metal to the Masses. It was kind of even not just for the show, not just for the competition. We just wanted to do it for ourselves as well. That was.
After that, we just wanted to do Rush tribute stuff, and then for like 3 months, we should just do a Rush tribute, but then decided we wouldn't make any money doing that either, so we
Yeah, fair enough. I know you mentioned Rush on your Bandcamp as one of your chief inspirations, so I can totally understand the logic behind that decision. And you know, every self-respecting prog, rock or metal fan is going to appreciate that kind of gesture. So I'm sure it went down brilliantly well. I was surprised you didn't go further in the competition, to be fair, because I thought you were really, really good. Although to be fair, the caliber of the Bristol metal scene is pretty insane. But is there anything that you took away from that competition, as well as your reprise in January last year, as it were, that will make this coming show even better than it was before?
Well, we're playing 2 completely new songs. Like the set's completely different this time, so it's just songs that we've never done. We're still trying to squirm, trying to get it ready. The idea to do this new set. So yeah, hopefully the new songs are just better and it just goes over better. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah, fantastic. Really looking forward to that. Other than yourselves, of course, are there any bands in particular on the lineup that you're eyeing up as your big competition this year?
Quite a few of them, to be fair.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's going to be quite a well-rounded competition. The acts that they've got in are, a lot of them have been around in the Bristol scene for a little while now as well. It's going to be quite a high caliber of a battle, I think.
I reckon Dire Solid will win it. I've got a feeling they're willing to take the cake.
Yeah, I've got my eyes on Diaz Holocaust, and I got doing them for an interview very soon. They definitely seem to be very heavily discussed to be one to watch this year for sure. It's awesome stuff. I'm really, really again looking forward to Metal to the Masses. It's been far too long. So we'll come back to Metal to the Masses, of course, but moving on to your actual music, which I also want to discuss as well. If anyone watching hasn't heard your debut album, Cataclysm, first of all, they bloody should, because it is excellent. How would you go about describing the sound of that really huge album to a new listener?
Go on. Let the wordsmith first. Sell it.
He's wearing a salesman suit. No, I think it's something that it's a very raw sound for us because it came from a place where we wanted to make music like this for such a long time. And when we finally all three of us got together and put the project together, it was like a big release of all these ideas and areas that we never really got to explore before. And I think that is evident on that album. If you want to listen to something that is very genuine and very personal to us, and sort of through the way it sounds and the stories it tells and everything behind it, it's good if you like to go on a journey with the music. We like to go to different places within our songs, and if you're quite open to listening to all of these different influences in one place, then it's definitely the album for you. If you want to explore music, I think this is a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds pretty succinct to me. I'm one of those like massive metal snobs who thinks you should always listen to an album in its entirety and never try and like pick out specific bits here and there. But if I had to push you for one song on the album that really encapsulates something that represents the album as a whole, what would you encourage new listeners to go for first if they only heard one track?
Yeah, I think so. The one that did as our single, I think, was the one that we thought was the most well constructed and summed us up the best.
Yeah, I think it's like the one song that from start to finish is probably consistent with what we're doing now, where some of the other songs have bits where it's like, not as strong, but I think that song from start to finish seems to work pretty well. Or May Fate Rest Upon You is probably the other one, but the rest of it you don't even need to listen to.
I think May Fate Rest Upon You is probably my favorite one of the bunch. I really, really, really liked that one. It was awesome. No problem at all. So I wanted to reference one of the quotes you received regarding the album, which was, "There are few bands to be as bold as this with their debut album." I believe that was from Distorted Sound magazine. My apologies. You often get buzzwords like that from reviews: bold, innovative, and all that kind of generics and whatnot. I know I've been guilty of that when I review stuff on this channel. But bold, I do think, is a very apt word for Cataclysm. An hour-long debut with two songs that go beyond the 15-minute mark. I know prog bands are no stranger to that kind of thing, but it's still very ambitious stuff. I could never imagine writing stuff that even comes close to that kind of thing. What's it like constructing that kind of thing? What's the process when you're coming up with that kind of scope? What's the writing that goes into that kind of thing?
I think our writing process might differ a little bit. When we discussed the album, I thought we sort of thought what we want to do. So we'll maybe tell a story with it, give it a concept.
Yeah, we kind of did that like halfway through. We were like, we should just make this a concept album. So we had about 2 or 3 songs, and then we were like, oh, we should make it a concept now. And then we did the overture and added all the other stuff in, so it made it more difficult for him.
Yeah, naturally. So we found that when it came to like naming the songs, we had the idea of like naming the songs was like chapters, and then the words followed with the music that we wrote. So we managed to fit the riffs that we wrote to the song track, to the song title, and wrote the album quite strategically in that sense to make it fit the story.
It kind of made it easier once we had the concept, we knew where it was going to go. It kind of made it easier for us to like arrange the tracks and especially order them from like where we wanted it to go and what we wanted it to do. Because if we didn't give ourselves any constraints, we would probably write a 30-minute song and it would just never end. But if we give it a story and we know like what it needs to do, we know when to stop.
Yeah, it's a very different writing process. I mean, I've been in other bands before, and where the writing process is probably much more well known and established, where someone would introduce some riffs, then you just build this one song at a time. But we tend to have a bank of riffs and ideas, and so we because we all like to write, we all come up with these things, bring them to the table, and then we have to sort them. So we sort of actually have to work with this idea, and I hear that actually I could put this with this, and this would work. So it's very much we have had a patchwork metal as well. I think was a comment we saw on YouTube. I think that does describe how we put the songs together pretty well.
Yeah, sounds about right. So there's like when it comes to like the 20-minute epic. I think it's like My Last Stand, I think it's called. Yeah, The Last Stand. It's like there's no like one person whose stamp is on that. It's very much a communal effort for that kind of massive ordeal, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, usually the whole album's pretty much all three of us kind of like not with usually one person. It's like it does happen occasionally where someone will bring in like pretty much a full song, but rarely. It's usually everyone's kind of will have their stamp on it, and it will change and end up. Sometimes it will be a lot different to how it started when everyone's put their stamp on it. But everyone's quite happy to like let their ideas go to someone else, and they can do their thing to it. And usually it makes it better. Usually some other people might be a bit like, no, I know how I want it to sound, but in this band, everyone's like, yeah, take my idea and piss on it if you want.
Yeah, well, that's just why I've been quite lucky when it comes to some of the ideas I put in. If I've done stuff on guitar, and I bring it to Bonnie who plays the guitar, he takes it, makes it sound good, because I don't have a guitar playing of that sort of caliber that he does. So you can take some of the ideas I bring in and make it into something bigger and add to it and build on it and make something much more grand out of something which is a more modest start.
Yeah, and he's always happy to like. He's not like he's happy for Twitch to write a riff, and then he'll just he's not like stubborn to be like riffs. He's really good at like collaborating and making stuff better rather than trying to be a twat.
Yeah, sounds good. I'd imagine it's going to make things easier down the line as well, royalties and whatnot, if everyone just says that they were part of every single song. So none of that ugliness later down the line.
Yeah.
So how does creating a set list go down when you've got to juggle songs as long as these? I'd imagine when you go to Melt to the Masses, you could probably just play Last Stand for 18 minutes and then bounce, and you'd probably be absolutely fine. It would go down a treat.
Yeah.
But how do you go about thinking which of these songs are going to make the cut?
It is tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually we used to don't have to write it down because we usually do just play two songs, and that's what we're going to do again. And, we're playing a song that's actually even longer than Last Stand at this gig. It's a new one, and it's just two songs we're playing.
Can't wait.
It's got to be so in a way it's kind of easy, but if there was kind of like
it's not a lot of writing down on the floor and us struggling to read what we've written down in a dark light. So that's quite useful for us.
We were thinking about doing it for a joke, just writing it down on a big piece of paper, just having two songs written
down. Yeah, why not? Like when you like chuck the set list into the crowd at the end, they open up, it's like two lines. They're like, oh, okay, what was the point of that?
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
It's something to throw in the crowd. When you've got bass and keyboards, you're not flicking your pick at the end of it,
Yeah, I suppose not. So in true prog metal fashion, the songs go through quite a lot of different things they would naturally do when they're this length. It isn't easy, I'm sure, keeping songs interesting for that length of time, but for my money, you guys absolutely nailed it on this album. Also, in prog fashion, there are surely lots of different influences coming from all different places to create this kind of thing. Which bands would you guys cite were your main sources of inspiration for this work?
That's a hard one because I think both Jack and Bonnie came from quite similar places in metal, sort of with their tastes, and Jack and I both sort of knew more of the classic prog style, but more so Jack. But my introduction into more progressive music, or sort of using stranger time signatures, came from more sort of folk music and things like that. I had a bit of a different journey. So, for example, where Jack's influences might be something like...
We can pretty much say, me and Bonnie, it's like Revocation, Opeth, Between the Buried and Me, Rush, and then he's all the weird stuff.
Like... Yeah, then all of a sudden it's Frank Zappa, and then just opening this other world of like different, very strange influences from my part. But I grew up listening to a lot of different genres, so I tend to bring in different things at different times. I think probably in this project, though, some of my bigger influences will obviously have to be Rush. As I said, Frank Zappa, a bit of Gary Newman as well. So a bit of 80s sort of synth sounds I found over time. Bit of a sort of the ELP sounds as well with some of the ideas I'm bringing in for the newer stuff. It's all still in there. But I think it's more of a case of when Bonnie and Jack write, they write some real good technical metal. When me and Jack write, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone likes Frank Zappa, surely.
Oh yeah. You think so?
Yeah. You mentioned Opeth, like my favorite band of all time. I could definitely hit some Opeth in there for sure, as well as all the other technical prog metal bands you've noticed. I've not really delved much into Dream Theater before, but I mean, I know they're mad on their keyboard stuff. I know you have occasional keys in there as well. I don't know where I'm going with that line of thought, really. I've gone completely off script there, so I might just draw things back. Yeah, so the album was, of course, released in April 2019. Is there perhaps any more music coming on the near horizon?
Yeah, we've recorded guitar and drums to the new album. I think early next year they should have a new album coming out.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's even more mental than that one.
Yeah, it's as you were saying with the keyboards as well. Thanks to Jack and Bonnie, there's a lot more keyboards in it because they really like it. So yeah, I mean, when I joined the band, I thought I was just going to be playing sort of like bass and singing, and then the keyboard sort of came into it because they knew I could play. So I thought, yeah, let's give that a go. And we did a little more, and now when writing this album, they've got loads of ideas for the keyboards and where they want to hear a keyboard. So they've given me loads of work.
Yeah, people probably think he's an arrogant prick. He wants to do keyboards and everything. He doesn't want to do it. We're telling him like, oh, we should have a unison here or another solo. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. But yeah, the new stuff's probably more. It's heavier and probably more wacky and probably more progressive.
And I think
all the stuff nobody wants to hear.
Well, you know,
even with the
wackiness.
melodic side, we've been looking more into how we do the melodies and what sort of spaces we want to go with them. So when we keep the melodic side of it, I think we've found a much more balanced way of using it, along with the heavier parts and the more progressive parts. So I think what we've taken from Cataclysm, we've had the chance to refine for this album. So it's something we're really excited about.
Yeah, sounds. Yep,
yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry. We don't want to say it's like, because everyone's like, oh, it's heavier and more melodic, but it's probably heavier, but the melodies are just better now. So it's yeah, I'll say that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I know all the great prog metal bands that you can think of definitely toe the line between the heaviness and the melodic stuff. I can't really think of many prog metal bands that do exclusively the death metal stuff. I mean, even Opeth towed the line between the two, and then they ditched the death metal entirely and just did the melodic stuff, and it's still brilliant. But yeah, so very excited to hear how the next album is going to be even more mental, even more brilliant, hopefully, than Cataclysm was, because as I say, it's a fantastic album. Really, really enjoyed Cataclysm. So moving on from that, I suppose I will address the elephant in the room. How have you guys managed during COVID and all the lockdown shit that we've had to deal with?
Well, I suppose for the earlier part of the year, we didn't, well, of the COVID pandemic, we didn't see much of our guitarist because he lives in Broome and we live in Bath.
We worked together. We worked at the same place. Through all that stuff, so we could still see each other and kind of still, when we should have been working, we were just like, got any riffs?
Yeah, exactly.
So that wasn't too bad. But yeah, we did see Bonnie for like, it's probably the longest I've never seen it. Like it was like over a year, and it was pretty mental. But yeah, I think I dealt with it all right. What about you?
Yeah, we got through it. We had to, really. It was, we still spoke about it, and because we had a lot of riffs and ideas in the bank for it, we did some stuff over Skype and Zoom, or whichever one would give us the best quality of footage that day.
Oh yeah, that was the only annoying thing. We obviously had to record the drums. It was difficult trying to figure out when we could do it because we had to wait for them to tell us what was open, what we could do. So it was, that all got pushed back. That was the main annoying thing for us.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
selfish.
Yeah, I think just getting through it, I think, is the general motto that a lot of bands have been saying. With my band, I'm from near Reading. Our singer's up in was in Leeds. Our drummer is in Plymouth, and the other guitarist and bassist is in Bristol. So I think we can all empathise with how brutal it's been trying to just get everyone in the same room. But all that being said, I'll bet with this light at the end of the tunnel hopefully coming, I bet you guys are very excited to get back out there and start doing shows again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. We're really excited to air our new stuff. We're quite looking. It's not even recorded yet, and we're going to be airing it. Oh yeah, we're airing it at Metal to the Masses because we can't wait. It's one of those things you just can't hold it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before what better place to play the new stuff than
In a competition.
in a final competition.
Yeah, fantastic. Any immediate plans besides Metal to the Masses?
Well, I think that probably the next step is going to be recording the keyboards. So that's probably the most immediate thing. Because now we've got all the guitars back, I'll be filling that out and then doing the bass afterwards, because I'm putting that off for as long as I can, because trying to play along with some of the riffs that Bonnie comes up with. I don't like the man. he's ruined my life.
It wouldn't be a band if you didn't love / hate each other. So, that's just how it goes, I suppose.
He has challenged me more than fair.
Oh dear. So my last sort of main question before I go to sort of a quick fire fun outro thing would be, of course, the one show on all of our minds right now is the upcoming Metal to the Masses. I will be there, of course, supporting you guys as well as all the other bands I'm also interviewing. So I've got to remain impartial, but you guys are really fucking good as well. What would it mean to you guys if you got the chance to play Bloodstock?
It's just a great opportunity. It's something that I wanted to do, is get back onto big stages and sort of like, especially with this sort of music, like be able to go and do something exciting with it, be able to experience a festival atmosphere again.
I think it's like probably one of the festivals we'd fit in most at as well. I think it'd be like perfect for us to go there, because I think we're heavy enough, and I think like Opeth played there before, Symphony X, all that stuff. I think it'd be different. I think people would like it. It'd be cool to see people leaving as we play.
Oh no. Have you guys ever attended Bloodstock just as audience members?
I haven't. I've never been to a festival. Stop. I'm poor and I don't drink, so I'm kind
of. Well, I can tell you firsthand, it's a damn good starting point. Bloodstock's my second home. They'll treat you very well, I'm sure. It's best festival in the country for my money.
Yeah. How many times have you been?
I first went, I think it was 2017. Yeah, 2017 was my first year. Then I've been every year since. Was supposed to go last year, of course. Ticket rolled over for this year, so very much excited. Any bands on the lineup that have you seen the lineup yet? Are there any bands you're really looking forward to if you were to go?
Yeah, it keeps chopping and changing. Obviously, some certain bands from Europe are kind of, is Devin still on?
Devi is still currently booked. I'm fingers crossed, because he's one of the ones I'm looking forward to. So hopefully, Glory Hammer as well. So.
Cradle Filth got announced. They replaced Timu, haven't they? So Cradle Filth are now playing, and I like Stalosis and stuff like that. So there's quite a few. There's quite a lot of British bands on there as well, isn't there? It's a really British heavy lineup.
Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons, as we can probably imagine. If I was just going to throw a name out there for people to recommend, for God's sake, go listen to Conjurer. They're booked. They are brilliant. They won the Metal to the Masses somewhere else. I don't know exactly where. A few years ago. Yeah. They'd be a really good one to check out. But anyway, so I like to sort of wrap up these interviews in the same way. I say interviews plural. This is only the second one I've ever done, so I'm trying to make it a trend. But I like to end in the same sort of way, which with an idea I definitely did not steal from Empiricon's 25 question series on YouTube. So essentially, just some quick fire, random, fun questions. You can think as long or as short as you want. Don't worry, there won't be 25, or just a few, just to lead us into a nice casual outro. You don't even have to agree. You can both debate about this if you wish. So, traditional metal versus extreme metal. Which one's best?
Well, for me now, I'd say extreme metal. I'd say like this, but
I think I'd have to agree because extreme suggests you can fit more in it.
yeah, I think there's more you can do with extreme metal. To me, it doesn't just mean blast beats at 240 BPM. It just means like I mean, I love some traditional. I love Metallica, so Megadeth are some of my favorites. But yeah, I'd say extreme metal, so you can just do more of it. So
Yeah, sounds about right. Speaking of Metallica versus Slayer.
Metallica,
100%.
they're more prog.
Yeah, I'm sure my brother will fight you on that, but I'm with you with Metallica. So, breakdowns, breakdowns or sing-alongs.
Hate both.
Ooh, I suppose.
Say I don't want to sing along.
It depends on the breakdown. You can sing along to some.
Both. A nice sing along breakdown.
Sing along breakdown. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, we'll go with both.
Both for both. Fair enough. Favorite city?
Bristol. Come on.
Yeah, I'll go with Bristol.
Yeah,
I think because we're from Bath. Bath's lovely, it's a nice little city, nice to village. But if you want to do something, go to Bristol.
Oh, I know, maybe Bath. Even Opeth love Bath. So, what shall I spell Bath?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, I studied in Bath for a few years, and then I studied in Bristol for a few years. So I've been in both great places to be.
What would you say?
Sorry?
What's your choice, Bath or Bristol?
Bath's the kind of place I'd love to live in when I want to live a nice, peaceful life and just enjoy the river flowing outside my kitchen window. Bristol, if I want to, go in a mosh pit or two, go get.
Drunk to do crazy Bristol, but Bath. When you retire, you can sit by the river and have a picnic.
Yeah. Dear. Yeah, love both. Had a great time living in both cities. Morning versus evening.
Evening.
Yeah, I think I'd agree.
I've not seen a morning in a while, so
yeah,
it could be good for all I know, but I don't know.
Thing is, I can get up in the morning, but I tend to find I won't wake up until about 3 in the afternoon, and then evening, and I'm ready to go then.
Yeah, so definitely evening for sure.
Evening, yeah, fair enough. Favorite movie?
You know what I'm gonna say. I know what I'm gonna say. Jason X. When Jason goes to space.
I was not expecting that.
I don't think many people would. What about you, Big Lebowski?
Yeah, Big Lebowski.
I mean, that seems a bit more sensible, but whatever.
I don't know. The whole film's about a rug. I don't know.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's brilliant. So, well, I mean, both are ridiculous and brilliant. So,
it describes our band, really. Well, ridiculous. To you guys.
Favorite band / artist?
That is hard. I think mine changes every day. Oh.
Overall, I'd probably say Rush, but I listen to Between the Buried and Me pretty much all the time at the moment. So,
yeah,
one of them.
No, it depends because I've got a lot of it could be different from day to day, but I suppose more relevant to what we're doing here, I suppose I would have to go for Rush because when it comes to progressive and playing that sort of music, they'll be my first port of call. Both for technical playing ability and for the sound that they can create.
Yeah, and for a 3-piece band, you like couldn't find 3 more virtuoso musicians than the classic Rush lineup. So can't really ask for better answer than that, really. And lastly, favorite Redshift song?
I think it would probably be one of our new ones coming out, but we won't spoil that surprise yet. But from Cataclysm, I think I would say
Invasion for me on that album. Yeah,
it's a toss up between Invasion and Fate. May Fate Rest Upon You. It's definitely between those two, but I think Invasion would just edge it.
I would say every song on the new album is better than that. I would say every single one.
You're making me more excited every second. Okay, well, that's more or less everything that I've got. So thank you guys again so much for coming onto our channel for a chat. This has been really, really fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Nice one.
Thanks for having us, mate.
No problem at all. And to everyone watching, if you're in the Bristol area, get yourselves down to Metal to the Masses on July 3rd. It's going to be absolutely wild. Links down in the description below so you can see all of Redshift's various online outlets and support the band. Obviously, follow Crushing Sounds on all of that random bollocks. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks again, Redshift, for coming to chat with us today. I will see you guys at Metal to the Masses.
Yeah, thank you.
Mate. Cheers for that.